Hey guys, AJ here, your favorite administrator. I said I would make a video, and here I am at 12 o'clock. I know I'm a day late, but some vehicle troubles, had some tie rod issues, and yeah, long story short, you all get it. I already know. Everybody understands car repairs. But I want to introduce my co-host, my Pearl Burmese Python, Mr. Castiel. And yes, I did get the name from Supernatural. He is named after the angel. I've had him since he was close to a hatchling, I want to say, maybe a few months old. And I got him when he was pretty small. I posted pictures in the forum. I think I put a picture of him on a table, and he was just absolutely tiny. And every time I come in here and I take him out and handle him, it absolutely baffles me. It amazes me, and I can't stop looking at any of them, to be honest. But we've been talking about feeding a lot in the forum, and that's the first topic I want to bring up tonight. This is going to kind of be all over the place, guys. I don't really have a format yet. I will work on that, and we will get better at that. But as far as feeding, as I've said in the past, I will start some of my snakes out in the first year every week. And after they hit about the 6 or 7 foot mark, it could be anywhere from 2 weeks to a month. As far as my large female, who is, I want to say 14 and a half feet, I want to say anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds. I'm only giving such a big range because I haven't been on a scale, and I don't want to commit myself to a weight. I will weigh her at some point. But, basically, what I'm going to say is, as far as feeding goes with my larger female can basically be fed anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. I was doing it monthly, and I've actually talked to some people in the forum, along with one of the administrators, Sean, who feeds, less often and things like that. And I've actually put her to every month and a half to 2 months. It all depends. I look at my snakes, as I've said, I look at the structure of my snakes, and I look at their head size compared to their body size. I go by their weight, their girth, and I'll make a determination of when I want to feed. Sometimes it's closer together, sometimes it's further apart. I've been keeping snakes long enough where I can just, kind of do that. As far as newer keepers go, I would probably recommend feeding until they hit about 6 feet within the first year, once a week, then go to every 2 weeks after that for a little while, from anywhere from 7 feet and on, 6 feet and on. And after they hit anywhere from 10 to 12 feet, you could pretty much go once a month. It's just better. It gives them longer time to process the food. These guys get big. There is no need to power feed these guys ridiculously. There are certain situations, like when females come out of breeding and females before they go into breeding, yes, there are some situations where some people would consider that power feeding, but there are absolutely reasons behind it that keepers have figured out that actually help the animals in these processes. And a lot of good breeders, responsible breeders, as I speak of all the time, that aren't just trying to produce everything under the sun to make a crap ton of money. They pretty much know how to keep their animals healthy. They know how to get them through breeding season. They know how to cycle females. They don't breed the same female every year. They do it responsibly and keep their snakes healthy. But those would be the only reasons I would even suggest power feeding. Anything close to it. What I do is I just moderately feed. These guys right now, are still on jumbo rats. Him and my granite behind me, my little female, she's probably 6.5, 7 feet. She literally is just got on medium rats, guys. I do not go crazy. Juicy, for the longest time, at 14 feet, she was eating 2 to 3 pound pigs once a month, once every month and a half. It's, pigs are actually also higher in fat, etc., things like that. Juicy now eats rabbits. The rabbits range anywhere from 6.5 to 7.5 pounds. I have one in the refrigerator right now, thawing out. That's around 6.5 pounds. I fed her a 7.2 pound last time. I wanted to cut it back a little bit for this one because she's gone about 7 weeks without eating now. So I want to give her something a little bit on the mid-range side, a little bit on the smaller side of what I do, basically, because her next feeding is going to be a little bit closer. Like, I play with it. I'll be quite honest with you, snakes in the wild, they don't have a feeding schedule. They don't always get food. They're basically any opportunity they have, they eat. But sometimes they can go six months, 1 month, 2 months without eating. So it's perfectly healthy for their metabolism not to have a set feeding schedule as long as you're feeding them and they're keeping body weight. They're reptiles, they metabolize food differently, and basically if your snake doesn't eat for 2 or 3 weeks, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, I see a lot of posts. If you have a snake that's not eating for a couple weeks or a month, do not panic. Unless if you're seeing respiratory problems or you're seeing issues with them not going to the bathroom, they're not passing a bowel movement, things like that. Or if you see fat tail, which is basically, come here, buddy, I gotta demonstrate your tail here. You would basically see this part of his tail right here. It would be bigger than it is. And basically what happens is if they get buildup or they have a hard urate or they have a blockage there, they can become constipated. I mean, it happens. There's people that, excuse my language, can't take a dump. I mean, it happens. There are various things to do, like soaking them in warm water and things like that. I mean, I've soaked snakes in 92-degree water and let them sit, and I thought I had an issue, and sure enough, they were playing in their poo within like 10 minutes. So it's just, there are certain things you can do, and if you have any questions about that, message myself or Chad, and we'll be able to direct you a little bit better in that. That's something I like to talk to somebody person to person, not on a video. Maybe we'll do a demonstration at some point, but I've been hearing a lot about that lately, so I just wanted to get some of those things out of the way. It's like I said, this video is going to be all over the place. And guys, I've been hearing a lot of things about respiratory infections, okay? Here's the thing with respiratory infections. I check my snakes weekly. It's just, I keep everything in the correct husbandry, the correct temperatures, the correct humidity, etc., things like that. But I check my snakes weekly. And I'll tell you the truth, what I do is, I will literally just take him, come here, buddy. I'm not going to hurt him, but I'm going to hold his head here and I'm going to look at his mouth right here. And I'm going to see if I see any bubbles in his mouth. I'm not holding him hard. I'm not forcing his mouth open. I am lightly holding him and I am just taking my thumb like this and opening the corner of his mouth. If I don't see any bubbles and I don't hear any whistling, most likely I'm not going to have a respiratory infection. With bigger burms, when they get a respiratory infection, the noises are like, when I got my large female, she had a respiratory infection. It was pretty much pneumonia. It was ridiculous. She was literally making trumpet noises. I want to say I would wake up in the middle of the night and just stare at her. I remember one night I honestly started bawling my eyes out because I thought she was going to die. But then that's how I met Chad on YouTube. I found Reptile Rangers, Kernsville Reptile Rehabilitation Center and Zoo, and I messaged Chad, not thinking he was going to remotely help me at all. I just thought I was taking a long shot. To my surprise, within, I want to say, a couple hours, maybe the next morning, Chad would have to correct me and remind me if he even remembers. He helps so many people, he might not even remember. But Chad helped me out. The vet I had at the time, and let's get this straight, I am not anti-vet. I am not anti-veterinarian. Veterinarians come in handy. There are some very good veterinarians, okay? This particular veterinarian just didn't really grasp reptile care at all. And at this point, my husbandry was always decent. So, or I say decent because I always see room for improvement. But my temperatures and everything were always pretty much where they needed to be. So I never particularly worried about respiratory infections. I never had one. I never dealt with it or anything like that. So I was freaking out. And it was, the vet had me giving these shots, and oh my God. Let me tell you, the shots I had to give, it was petrifying to me the first time I had to do it. It was just, I'm not gonna lie to you guys and sit here and BS. I had to calm down because I was shaking like a leaf because I was just so terrified I was gonna mess up and hurt my animal. Like, it's just one of those things. It's like do or die. You know, you have to save her, but you don't want to do it the wrong way either. You know. But long story short, Chad walked me through some treatment. I, at the time, stopped the treatment the vet was giving me because it wasn't working. It was just, I felt like I was pumping her body full of antibiotic that the vet was giving me, and the antibiotic wasn't working. Sure as crap, within a month of working with Chad, I didn't have an RI anymore. And oh my God, I was so happy because I took Juicy in at 14 and a half feet. And for her to go through shots and not even try to strike at me once, I couldn't believe it. I for sure thought I was at least going to get bit one time, but it really goes to show you how docile these animals can be. They're still wild animals. They can absolutely wreck your day if you're not handling properly and stuff like that. You need to take safety precautions. That's all it is. I tell you guys all the time. That's why you're not going to see me on a video putting a snake around my neck. It's just, have I put them around me? Yes, guys. I'm not going to lie, but there is always somebody, either one large friend of mine who keeps snakes in the room, his name's Brandon, and he comes over my house. He's like 6'4", and he absolutely knows how to get a snake off me if anything happens. Or I have two of my snake friends in the room of normal size. Like, it's just, the point is, I know it looks cool, put a snake around you, yeah, but the problem is, guys, if you come off balance or even trip and that animal gets scared and tightens around you, it's just not worth it. It's not worth a hit to the community, you know? And it's like the fly feeding we talk about all the time too, guys. It's not that I want to crucify people that feed live, okay? It's not. Let's just get it straight. But there are a lot of people out there who have the animals we feed to our animals. Like, I know none of us would like to see a Burmese python fed off to an alligator. I mean, let's be honest. Let's be sympathetic towards other people. If that's what you want to do and you think it's enriching to feed your animals live and things like that, do it on your own time. It does not need to be on video. It just doesn't. You're gonna get more people that are offended by that rabbit screaming and things like that and not fully understanding that it's Mother Nature at that point than people that are gonna, understand it and appreciate an apex predator for what it is. I feed all mine frozen thawed. I'm a wimp. I love rabbits. I love rats. I love a lot of the animals I feed to my snakes. I don't personally put them down. I can't handle it. It's just one of those things. I cannot see anything die. It's just, I realize it's the circle of life, guys. I get it. Call me a pansy. That's just how I am. I can't change it. I am who I am, and I'm not going to lie to anybody. But as far as that goes, yes. And I also hear, sorry, I have an itch. I also hear a lot of people talking about as far as like what to feed, okay? I'll break it down for you. Guinea pigs are high in fat. Once in a great while. Enrichment purposes only, as people call it. Throw it in the diet, throw it in the mix. Rabbits are lean and healthy. It's, in my opinion right now, it's what I have my big female on. It's what my 8.5-foot male here is going to be on soon. It's what my 8-foot female granite in the back is going to be on soon. It's eventually what her name's Baby. She's a hypo up there, and she'll be eating rabbits too at some point. I was feeding pigs for a while. I think pigs are a good piece of nutrition, but I mean, I wouldn't do it as a base diet. I did it for a while, and to be honest, they're great, but I just feel like rabbits are just so much healthier, just because it's leaner protein, things like that. And I've talked to Chad about it as well, and other people, Sean, and I mean, guys, believe it or not, I got a lot of info from Chad and Sean. Sean's been keeping for a long time. No, you're not going around my neck. But Sean's been keeping for a long time. Sean, correct me if I'm wrong too. Sean has had a anaconda for around 27 years or something like that. It's like I said, Sean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Sean has some snakes that are old, and those are the people I want to listen to, because obviously that man has kept his animals alive, is my whole point, guys. But as I've said, this is an introduction video. I will be making another one tomorrow. This is short. I'm sorry, guys. I just wanted to talk about a couple things. Do me a favor. I'm going to make a post tomorrow on Field of Berm with this video linked. Give me some suggestions to talk about, please. And I will make a formatted video about everybody's questions. That's what I want to do right now. And I'm sorry, this guy's all over the place. He's very hyper right now. I'm happy he is, but he could actually be a handful. I can't wait until, there's no doubt in my mind, 12 or 13 feet out of this guy. Hey, buddy, you want to say hi? You want to say bye to the camera? Come here. Let's get you. Come on. You gotta love it, guys. I mean, what a privilege just to keep an apex predator. It's it's insane, and just to have one like this that just, I mean, this guy has never tried to bite me, and I've had him since he was tiny. I've put pictures on the forum of him on a table, and he's probably about 3.5 feet is my whole point. And I mean, I've raised him to this big. Like, it just amazes me. Like, I just can't even, like, these animals amaze me every day. I take out my 14.5-foot female, and it's like, oh my God. To be honest with you guys, I talk about it now when I'm on here. I have anxiety. I don't really go on camera too much, but I'm willing to do it because I see where everything's going. I see where mass breeding's going. I see neglected animals stuck in fish tanks because people just don't know what they're buying. Things like that, and it breaks my heart. It really does. Because, I mean, this guy does so much for my life. And even my 14.5-foot female just fulfills my life so much. It's ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. I come in this room and I swear to God, guys, I could stare at my one animal for an hour. It's like I am just completely fascinated by seeing the same animals day after day after day. And it's like the first time I got them. But it's like I said, I want to do the introduction video. I wanted to introduce my main man. Huh. Why are you hissing? Yeah, exactly. Alright, guys. So it's like I said, I'm going to make a post. Do me a favor when I make that post. Put in the comments below, let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Let me know what you would even like me and Chad to talk about as soon as I can get Chad on here. Like, me and Chad together, we'll talk about whatever. It'll probably be a lot of me listening with you to Chad, because Chad's on a different level. I've never met a man that is just so willing to help so many people and share his knowledge. I cannot say enough good things about that man. It's like I said, he literally saved my 14.5-foot female, who, I don't want to say she's my favorite animal. I don't want to hurt his feelings. She's my favorite female. There you go. But, yeah, so I'm going to make a comment in the morning. Hit me up underneath the comment. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know, possibly we can do some things. Maybe if Chad's willing, he could show you around his zoo and show you some of his animals on camera. Like, maybe we could have a podcast where you guys just send questions in the forum and Chad and I answer them on the podcast. And maybe if we get enough subscribers and stuff like that, we could have some lives. I mean, it's like I said, I want to definitely interact with you guys, and I definitely love talking to other reptile people, because I mean, it's like I said, how many people get to keep an apex predator? It's pretty badass. Let's be real. I mean, it's like I said, though, I would be perfectly happy too, just hiding in my house and nobody even knowing I have these animals. Like, I would be perfectly cool with that. It's never been a wow factor for me. I mean, I absolutely just love my animals. But, so yeah, let's do that. Let me stop rambling on and on and on. And on the post tomorrow, let me know what y'all want to talk about. All right, guys, AJ out. Peace.